Attention to all my friends here in the United States. We are, for the very first time ever, doing an in-person, free-to-attend seminar in Atlanta, Georgia, coming up April 22nd. And I'd be thrilled to meet some of you guys in person for this free educational session. We're going to be going over a couple really key trading lessons, including fundamental analysis. We're going to be talking about how to build winning trading strategies, and I'm going to be going into my own personal trading strategy in detail and sharing it with the audience. It's probably going to go from about 10 a.m. in the morning to early afternoon we'll end up. And guess what? There's free food while you're there. No cost to you. Just show up to the event and we'll be doing free lunch while you're there. This event is brought to you by my team at A1 Trading, but also Oanda, who has partnered up with us to make this awesome event possible. And again, to get traders together, meet traders from all over the Southeast and from anywhere else that people choose to fly in from. All you got to do is show up, be ready to learn, and ready to meet other traders. It's going to be awesome. If you're interested in joining and attending this event, we are looking to get your name down on a list, and all we need from you is for you to fill out the link that's in the description down below. If you fill out that link, it's going to give us some contact information. We're going to reach out to you to confirm. One of my team members will connect with you, confirm that you're going to be at the event so that we know that you're coming and we know that we can expect you. If you can make it, please try and make it. Click that link down below in the description and hope to meet some of you guys soon. Have a great day.
We had a double header today when US GDP numbers and unemployment claims dropped at the same time this morning. We'll get to that in just a second, but I want to first mention that Australian CPI dropped even more than originally expected, down to 6.8%. Now back to those GDP numbers. This is the end of quarter one for GDP reports here in the US, and results came back slightly lower than expected at 2.6%. US unemployment claims were also a little disappointing, coming out just barely lower than expected at 198,000. Now remember, you can watch us cover these events live as they're happening right here on the A1 channel, and tomorrow is no different. We'll be live streaming and doing chart analysis tomorrow morning starting at 8:15 a.m. Eastern times, and looking for spikes in the market when the Canadian GDP report as well as the US PCE price index release at 8:30.
All right, people, let's go ahead and check out the market heat map and see how all of the assets in the Edge Finder are trending so far today. So we're looking at these blue and red boxes here. Of course, blue means that it's trending upwards and red means that it's trending downwards. Let's take a look at our movers to the upside first. Over here in the top left, this is our biggest mover of the day so far, and it's Euro USD, followed by Euro JPY, CHF JPY, GBP USD, GBP JPY, and NZD USD. Those are our 6 biggest movers to the upside so far today, Euro USD being the biggest one, up 0.66% on the day so far. Taking a look down here in the bottom right, however, we can see our biggest movers to the downside, and that is USD ZAR, followed by USD CHF, CAD CHF, USD CAD, Aussie CHF, and Aussie NZD. USD ZAR being the biggest mover to the downside so far today, down 1.27%. Why don't we check out our US indices as well, because I noticed that they're all in the green or in the positive so far today. NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, and US 30 all making some moves to the upside throughout the day so far. NASDAQ 100 being the biggest mover so far today, up 0.87%. So that was a quick look at all of our assets that are trending, at least trending heavily one way or the other. Let's take a look at the watch list. Now, the watch list today looks weird, people. If you're familiar with these videos, you know over the past month, maybe even 2 months, the watch list has been full of buys and sells. We've had periods with lots of strong buys or lots of strong sells or both at the same time. But not today. Today, we have had a big shift in the watch list. Look at all of these neutral biases. And in fact, if I remove these neutrals, just so that we're left with buys and sells. We have this tiny little list with a few buys here, a few sells here, 2 strong sells, still Aussie NZD and Aussie USD. These have been hovering around that strong sell bias for a while now with that score of -6. I mean, they're just barely hanging on there. And in fact, if we're going to focus on the currency pairs and we remove these indices and commodities, the list gets even smaller. And there we go. We have a total of 8 biases, 3 buys and 5 sells. USD ZAR, Euro CHF, Euro CAD are only buys. NZD CHF, CAD CHF, pound dollar, Aussie NZD, and Aussie USD are our only sells at the moment. So the question is, which pair do we want to look at today? And in fact, I'm just going to pick something random, something that I haven't looked at in forever. I'd spent a lot of time covering Aussie US last week because it's been hovering around that strong sell bias. USD ZAR, Euro CHF, just something complete. NZD CHF is a pair that I don't even know the last time I've even thought about NZD CHF. So why don't we check that out? It's got a sell bias score of -4. And let's find out why that is. So, like I mentioned, sell bias, score of -4, COT data is a score of 0 or a neutral score, and retail sentiment is a score of -1. We can get into those numbers right over here. So COT data, or institutional trader data, for both the New Zealand dollar and the Swiss franc, institutional traders are actually favored short on both of them. That's why we're getting that 0 or that neutral score here, is because institutional traders as of now are in agreement that they are shorting both the New Zealand dollar and the Swiss franc. 69.68% short for New Zealand and 71.46% short there on the Swiss franc. Retail sentiment, on the other hand, day traders are favored long on this pair, 62% long and 38% short there from the day traders. Our seasonality is actually a score of +1, and we can see that in the month of March, historically speaking, if you were to isolate just the month of March and take a look at that over the last 10 years, you would notice that it trends just bullishly in the month of March, although that does not really seem to be the case so far this year, at least not today with this sell bias score. Our trend reading is a score of -2, and taking a look at this trend projection chart, we can see that for about a week or so, it was making some moves to the downside. It's popped up yesterday, actually, from Tuesday, popped up and then has come back down since then. It is currently down just a little bit in the market right now, but it is down from today's opening. And price forecast does project that it will continue to make moves to the downside based on all of this other data that we're pulling in. Speaking of all of that other data, we can finish up here with our fundamental data. GDP growth, inflation, and unemployment are all scores of -1, so favoring the Swiss franc over the New Zealand dollar, whereas interest rates are a score of +1, favoring the New Zealand dollar over the Swiss franc. So let's take a look at that over here. GDP growth in New Zealand, -0.6% compared to 0%. Inflation in New Zealand, 7.2% compared to 3.4% in Switzerland. Unemployment, 3.4% compared to 2.1% there. And interest rates, 4.75% compared to 1.5% on the Swiss franc. So there we go. That was a quick breakdown of NZD CHF. Sell bias, not a strong sell bias, but a sell bias nonetheless. With that score of -4, has been trending down so far today. So potential for entries on the short side here for NZD CHF.
Yeah, why sell Euro USD? I'm genuinely asking. So selling Euro dollar. So Asher, I'll just give you my opinion. I think this one's a tough one for me to sell. Now, of course, just because I say that doesn't mean that it's not going to go down. I just personally, this one wouldn't match up with my strategy. But the cool thing about my audience here is that everyone's kind of got their own thing. And you guys, I get the comment all the time. People who say like, I don't trade like you, but I love watching your videos. And I'm like, hey, that's awesome, man. Because people trade different ways. And there's not a right way to trade. The right way to trade is to not lose money. That's really it. Thoughts on pound dollar? We'll take a look at the pound. So this euro trade, that Mr. Asher in the audience has got on. I would say, hey, we might double top if you're bearish on the euro. If you have your reasons, possibly watch this double top. And I say possible because, again, for me, a double top is not really a double top until it breaks like structure to the downside. I'm a trend follower, so what I want to see, like if I was to get bearish on this, would be like this. Like this would be bearish, right? A break of that structure. But right now, I'm just not thinking that we have a lot of evidence of bearishness just yet. Rest in peace, Nashville victims. Absolutely. Yeah, really. I hate seeing that stuff, man. It's really, really a bummer. And it's such a terrible thing for the families and people involved with that stuff. Pound USD. Let's take a look at the chart. Pound USD, man, I have to give credit to the bulls here. I was expecting us to do something bearish. We have not done anything bearish. The dollar's been really weak, and we're seeing that play today. The S&P 500 this morning was rallying really strong alongside the pound USD. These two have some correlation in a lot of cases. Yes. Sorry for the slurp. You guys can hear that probably perfectly, right? Especially if I put it up right to my, it's like right on my throat. So I'm sorry about that. It's probably freaking people out. I'll pause the mic next time. Or maybe I won't. So the S&P 500 broke out. And with that, guys, a lot of the dollar crosses are moving. The dollar dropped like a rock. Now, again, we have GDP numbers in about 20 seconds, which I'm sorry, I got to real quick. Hold on. Let's watch to see if we get a reaction out of this. I'm sorry, I lost track of time. Let's do SPX 500. Let's do gold. Let's do the bottom right. Okay, these are all 15-minute chart, guys. We're about to get the news in about 3 seconds here. GDP numbers, we'll discuss them, so don't go anywhere. Let's see if we get any volatility. And GDP numbers are widely pre-forecasted to a degree. Usually they don't cause too much volatility unless there's something very, very different. Doesn't seem like that is the case. We also had unemployment claims, though, so let's go double check and see if there's any volatility happening this morning. Dang, I just took a sip and didn't do what I said I was going to do. I'm sorry. Hold the mic over here. GDP numbers came out 2.6% compared to the forecasted 2.7%. So a lesser than expected number there. Unemployment claims came out just about as expected. So nothing too crazy in terms of volatility there. So far, the dollar selling a little bit here this morning. The S&P 500 overall on the 15-minute chart is up pretty good here today. And let's look at the dollar on the 15-minute chart as well, just to match it up. Yeah, the dollar, very weak. The S&P 500, very strong. And the gold market, also very strong.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free Edge Finder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.